Good evening, beautiful people. It's your favorite real estate agent and investor, Cierra Thurman, and I'm here to help you build a legacy that moves you. I am really excited that you all have joined us for this episode of Building and Bonding, our real estate series where we discuss with those important individuals that you need on your real estate team. I'm really excited to have Miss Tuwanna Dennis with us today. She is a managing broker. She has her own real estate company called Dior Realty Group. And she also is the first Black woman in Illinois to have her own title company, right? So we're going to have Tuwanna join us. I'll be adding her very shortly. And I just want to make sure before we get started, we had technical difficulties the first time around. Can you all hear me? Type yes or no in the chat box if you all can hear me clearly. Let me know. Can you all hear me? Hear me? Okay, great. I'm glad you all can hear me now. Now let me try to get Tuwanna on the line. Miss Tuwanna Dennis. So the lives can be interesting, right? If you are a first timer and you've never did it before. Hopefully Tuwanna joins from her phone. I think it'll be much easier for her to do it. But while we wait on Miss Tuwanna Dennis, again, the first Black woman in the state of Illinois to own her own title company. And we're going to talk to her about the importance of that. We're going to talk to her about her real estate firm. And for those that may be aspiring to do so, or you might be a buyer, a seller, an investor, you need a title company. So it's important to establish these relationships, and that's what we're all about on Building and Bonding. So Miss Tuwanna, I'm trying to add you. Okay. She hasn't joined us just yet. And I hope she's not calling my phone because it's on Do Not Disturb. Hopefully she joins us soon. So while we're preparing for Tuwanna to join us, you all can start dropping your questions in the chat. If you all have any questions or if you think of anything while we're doing our interview, please drop them in the chat and we'll try to get those things answered for you. So how y'all doing? How was y'all day today? It's Wednesday. You winding down. It's hump day. You drinking some wine. How was y'all day today? And also let me know where you all are from. Hey, Tuwanna, I'm going to try to invite you again. All you have to do is accept the invitation. Yes, beautiful.
Okay. I told you I just was not tech savvy. But
It's okay. It's okay.
Here.
How are you? You look so pretty.
You as well. Always. You look amazing. But thank you so much. You're always like very dope. I love it.
How was your day today? Did you have a rough one?
Every day is like.
I know you're such a busy woman.
I love it. It's if it was not chaos, I would not do well. I thrive in chaos. So
okay.
Definitely.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're probably going to spend 30 to 45 minutes together. But before we get started, for those who may not know you, I want you to introduce yourself.
I heard your introduction, so I'm overly flattered. Thank you so much. But who I am, Tuwanna Dennis. I've been in real estate for over 20 years now. I'm not going to tell my age. I know I still look 20, but I've been in real estate for over 20 years now. I've been kind of in every sector of real estate. So I have a wide range of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in mortgages. I've been a loan originator. I've been in brokerage for some time. I'm an investor. I'm a general contractor. I do tax liens. I do foreclosures. I do regular sales. Let's see. I have a title company. I also am an instructor. I'm an educator. So
Yes.
to give real estate classes as well. So, hey, I'm just overly busy.
You
And
all things real estate, Tuwanna. You are the GOAT, okay?
I want to do anything else ever but real estate.
Yes. So again, for those that are joining us, if you don't realize by now, this is going to be a monumental episode with this trailblazer here. Quick question, Tuwanna. Do you have your computer on or your cell phone?
I have my cell phone on because come on.
It's a little feedback, but if it's not bothering you, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. Hold on. Oh, you know what? It may be on that as well. Let's just check.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't come up. So let's just make sure.
And I don't want to lose you.
I know. No, I'm not on the.
Okay, well, I can hear you good. If you can hear me, we
I
can keep it
hear
right.
you just fine. Awesome.
Okay, so we're going to get right to it. I would like for you to share your journey to starting your own real estate brokerage, as well as how you got into the title company. Like, you're the first Black woman in Illinois to have a title company.
Yes.
How did you think of that? How did that come about? Just kind of share your journey with those things.
Awesome. So the way that I got into real estate overall is looking for a job. I think in 2000 and maybe 2 or 3, we were kind of going into a refinance boom, and jobs, every mortgage company was hiring. So that's kind of how I ended up in the door there. I started off in processing, but I'm a girl from Inglewood, right? I'm from Chicago, South Side, Inglewood. Yay! And I came from poverty. I came from a very bad kind of background, poverty levels of, we didn't own a home. We had no idea about home ownership, how to even get started. So the business intrigued me, and I instantly kind of dove in, and I kind of, anywhere I work, I've always exceeded myself with, expectations of the job. So not only did I stand out as an employee, I always wanted to learn more. So I would say maybe like I pushed my way up in like the mortgage industry really fast. So I went from like processing to underwriting, from underwriting to an account manager. So I was up there where we were doing like B2B business. That was really intriguing. But what I did learn in the process of that is like what I was actually looking at. Instead of it being a job, I kind of took it serious. Like, okay, this is really interesting. And so just following that journey along, when the market crashed in 2007, the banks were going under, everything was happening, and everybody's like, oh, real estate is failing. And I'm like, real estate will never fail. What do you mean? Like, everybody gonna need somewhere to live, to do business. Real estate will never fail. So I hate when people say that, like, oh, it's not a good time to buy a house. It's always a good time to buy a house. Always a good time to buy a house, right? We love to say in our office, you will marry the house and date the rate, because you can always refinance on that rate. So it's always a good time to buy a house. So I learned that even going in 2007 and 8 in a market that was less desirable, I thrived. Right? I thrived. I got a lot of sales. I dealt with short sales. I was like the queen of short sales, and I was in good communities doing the short sales. So it was an amazing journey there. To, I think, coming out of that, like the sale bubble kind of like closing off in like 2013, 14 for short sales and things like that. Then I got called suddenly to the tax lien world, right? I always like to tell everybody, God orders my steps. He definitely does, right? So I got called into the tax lien world, and that was like a whole nother animal that African Americans just do not know much about. And even now,
enlighten us, please.
Oh my gosh. even now that we're trying to join, I see a lot more of, diversity at the tax sales, and but I still don't think we understand the whole concept of it. I really don't. So that'll be a class that we'll be given soon. But for the most part, yeah, we'll be given that class because it's really a huge, it's a huge investment, and it definitely pays back. You'll probably never make under 43% of your money back on that. So one thing I am is a person that if I'm put into a position, when I'm put into the position, I learn, right? I want to really dissect that wherever I'm at and figure out like, oh my gosh, how is this happening? What's happening? How am I leveraging my money? Things of that nature. So I came in with like one of the biggest tax buyers in Cook County. They've been in the business for over 30 years. Just a little short story. When I came in, the attorney that I came in working with, his father was kind of like, they were Jewish guys who were just like out here doing amazing in the tax sale. And he called me, and because we did like one deal together, and he called me and was like, I remember you. And he was like,
he liked your style, he liked your work ethic, their
come on now,
relationship
how
led
you
to
show
something
up for
else.
people, right?
Hello.
So he called me and he was just like, hey, I remember you. And, I think you can do good in this business. My father passed and I have no one to sell properties. And I'm thinking, okay, it was an amazing, the transition, it was just amazing for me to really understand how to make money in real estate, right? How to leverage my money, how to leverage my credit, how to leverage everything in real estate. So it put me like at the top of my game. It definitely put me in a much better financial situation to make better investments. So I was buying some of these properties. Then I became a tax buyer. Come on, right?
See, listen, I'm ready to sign up for any class that you put out,
Absolutely.
right? Because you the GOAT in these real estate streets.
Come on now.
And I just want to get all of the knowledge. I want you to teach me all of it because I would like to get into that as well, the tax lien.
Let me tell you, it's a business that you'll be like, okay, let me just sit back and make my coins, right? No, it's definitely a rewarding, especially when you're learning to do it on a higher scale. And I think for like a couple of years, I traded in Gucci for property, right? I mean, growing up, I think a lot of consumers are people who didn't have, and then when they have, they go out and we make the purchases that make us look good, but not the purchases that make us do good. So I stopped that for a minute, my buying powers. Neiman and Marcus was a little bit mad at me, but that's okay. They still a little mad at me right now. We'll get back to y'all on a later date. But I literally stopped my buying powers and I invested in real estate. I just was buying properties here and there. Anytime a deal came up, I have a property right now that I bought through the tax sale for $25,000. It's like I was $25,000 totally in. It's worth like $600,000 right now.
Wow, that's amazing. Next level.
Next level, right? So you're like, okay, next level. So
return on investment is crazy. So we definitely got to talk about them tax liens for sure.
Exactly. We're definitely going to be doing a workshop on them. We're building that up really heavy because not only are we in Cook County, we're in Indiana, we're in Michigan buying it, we're in Phoenix buying them. We're in every state that gives you a great return on your money, right? And we're leveraged with a little bit of our money, but the bank money. So always want to use
other people's money.
How you get rich, right? That's how you get rich. You got to use other people's money. So that's an amazing journey that I've been on. But then in like when COVID happened, I remember us buying a property for the taxes, and then we went into the property, and the property was a historic property that I had ran into. I ended up buying the building. It's the old Dempsey Travis building. At the same time, I had a huge company, which I won't name, come to me. And when they came to me, they're like, hey, we researched you and we want to offer you a job. And I'm like, I'm not looking for a job. And they're like, oh, you're looking for a job. And I'm like, oh, I am. So like they offered me big bucks. to run like their Chicago division of their real estate. But not only did they have a real estate company, they had a mortgage company, they had a construction company, they had a title company. So they had all of this up under their umbrella. And
Wow.
I'm a person who wrestles with these. Even when I started in the tax lien business, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this. But I thought about it, I prayed about it, and it brought me on the journey.
Okay.
But when I prayed about this actual conversation that me and this company had, God said, you can build that whole wealth that they have in your own backyard.
Yourself. Right.
So I
So
went
that's where the
in.
light bulb went off for you
Ding
to do
dong,
it.
it went off. I was like, okay, let me go to work, right? So
Mm-hmm.
literally, I created my whole goal board, right? So I was
Okay.
like, okay, up under that, I want the construction piece. I want the title company
Yes.
piece. I want the school piece. I want the real estate piece.
Yeah.
So I broke down each individual company, and I just figured out like how to get licensed in it, how to, so I stayed at work sometimes to 2 a.m. I could remember creating a school and having to find a platform, having to find the school material, and sitting here
Wow.
boxing up the material to send to the state to approve courses. And it took me like 4 boxes to go into FedEx and send off to them. So it was just like, it was a journey, but literally I sat here every day and I did it basically by
Right.
myself with like the help of my assistant. She would come in. I'd be like, girl, bring your kid. We got to do X, Y, and Z, right? I need these
It's
approvals.
go time.
It's go time. I mean, from the title company trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to be underwritten by? And them giving me slack like, oh no, we're not doing brokerage business. And a lot of people got this whole construed thing with title companies, and everybody now is like, oh, I got a title company, I got this, I got that. And I'm like, oh no, you ain't paying these fees I'm paying over here
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
You're doing something different, which I applaud, but we're full title service. Like, we're full services. We have office locations. We do closings, everything that we need to do to make sure that we have the 3 ties in to become a title company. So we got that off the ground. I got locations. It's just been a journey, right?
And you
Now
are
we're going to,
continuing to do more. Like,
yes,
honestly, when I look
yes.
at some of the amazing things that you're doing, I'm like, when does she sleep? Like, just even the brokerage alone. So if for someone who may be on here and they're looking to either one, become a realtor with a brokerage or start their own brokerage, what type of like advice would you give them in those spaces?
Oh, okay. First of all, you know what? I'm an honest person. And I always tell anybody who wants to get into real estate, know where you want to go in there.
Yeah.
Know your role, because not everybody can become a sales rep.
Yeah.
Not everyone. Like, if you're quiet and you don't barely speak to people, or, I mean, it's okay. But don't think you can go into real estate and
Yeah.
sell with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be outspoken. You have to be a person that can go into things and speak and think. You just got to be able to have a whole conversation with someone. If you can converse with a stranger,
Yes.
then you can go out and say, I'm going to sell. Because a lot of people who gets this real estate license, they see all these TV shows. It's like, oh, they're making a lot of money.
Sending
I
them
can go
off.
out and do that.
Sending them clean off.
Sending them clean out. Because, baby, when you get in it, you just gonna be like crickets. Like, what happened, right? Because they don't teach you how to hustle in real estate school. But if you are a person that is very outgoing, very outspoken, don't mind making friends with strangers, it's probably a perfect career for you. We would love for you to join our team, Dior Realty Group, right?
Yes.
We have a team of about 80 brokers between Indiana and Illinois. So we're doing amazing and we're growing. We offer our brokers a lot. Like, right now, I just ordered all my men and all the brokers, men brokers, suits, because we're doing this awesome photo shoot for Dior's Men in Black.
That's gonna gonna be
Oh yeah, it's
amazing.
gonna be dope. Stay tuned for that, right? So I pour into my brokerage. I
Mm-hmm.
like to see people ultimately win. I'm not a competing managing broker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a competing owner. I pretty much hand off all my deals. I've handed off $1 million deals to
Mm-hmm.
my brokers. Just because I ultimately like to see people win,
Yes,
right? That's just,
absolutely.
can you be good to everybody? No, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
But for those, for some, I'm pretty much have helped them shape their careers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I intend to keep doing. So, of course, like I said, we have our websites, diorrealtygroup.com. We also have the school,
Yes.
drgrealestateacademy.com. You guys can go on any of these websites. Now, I myself am not like all this savvy. I'm not tech savvy. I have teams behind me. I'm not
You got
social
people
media.
for
You'll
that.
go on
It's
my
okay.
page and
You got
say,
people
what
for
does
that.
she do? Look, like you can go on my page and be like, what does she do? I don't know, because I don't know how to post. I don't know. I keep saying I'm gonna hire me a social media person, but for right now, I'm so busy
Mm-hmm.
like just creating content, making sure that we always have something that's relevant, a product that's
Yeah.
relevant.
And you
We
running
also
multiple
we
businesses.
do. And I
Absolutely.
have partners now. Thank God to my partners, Siobhan and Shannon, because
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do this all by myself. I realized, like, girl, you're gonna be in the grave before you even make $1 million here. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely found good partners that I've been working with for years, and they both have their good share of a situation that they throw into this whole big creation that we're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
we're on the rise.
Yes,
I
you
mean, it's gonna look
are.
really
You
good.
you are making it happen.
We
So to
are.
shift gears a little bit, I don't want to. It's a great thing that you're the first Black woman to do it, right? And
Mhm.
I was just wondering, are there some challenges that come with being that, right? So being a Black-owned business,
Mhm.
what are some of, I guess, what of influences your approach to real estate with being a Black-owned business?
Cierra, you know what? That's a really good question. And it's not the easiest, right? In a lot of states, it could be. Like Atlanta, our Black women out there are killing it,
Yes,
right?
they are. Yes, they are.
Dallas, they're killing it. But we're in Chicago. Chicago is still so segregated. It's
Whew.
still so diverse.
Yeah.
It's still like so like where we can't cross over to the north
Mm-hmm.
side, right? And
Mm-hmm.
hold the relevance as we do on the south side and the west
Absolutely.
side. So our territory is very small, and it's bad. It's still very, very bad. So there's so many challenges that we go through in Chicago and pushing our way and just trying to find our little piece of the pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always like to tell people, I research a lot. So I look up and I'm like, it's only 51,000 brokers in the state of Illinois, not
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, the state of Illinois. I can look out my window and see 51,000 units. I'm in downtown Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
There's no competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how aggressive you are, right?
Yes.
And how do you not take no for an answer?
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest thing. It's literally to me like no one can come. I'm genuinely happy for everybody. So I'm not in competition with
Right.
anybody
Collaboration
out
over
here.
competition.
Collaboration over competition
Mm-hmm.
all day, every day. Sierra's with a different brokerage, but we ride together. If
Yes,
I
we
can assist
do.
her, if I can help her, I not come at her like, hey, no, because I respect people in business, right? That's what I do. And I just always feel like it's enough room.
It's
It's
enough
enough
for
room for
everybody to eat.
everybody to eat. It's
Yes.
definitely enough. As long as somebody dies every day and somebody's born every day, it is a reason to sell a property or buy a house every
Hello.
single day, right?
Every day.
And to me, that is like enough. That's my logic behind business. What I've done is I've hit so many bumps in the road, adversity. It's just been a lot that I've dealt with, struggle with
Mm-hmm.
racism. I'm dealing with racism right now,
Mm-hmm.
a whole big situation right now. But there's so much that I've dealt with, and that I continue to deal with, but it doesn't deter me, because one day my ultimate goal is to make sure that we are equal, right?
Yes.
We are just as equal, whether it has to come from the government level or from the consumer level. We are just as qualified
Absolutely.
to go sell a $5 million house in Barrington
Absolutely.
as this other broker
Mhm.
is, right? We're just as qualified. We have the same credentials,
So
nothing different.
how do you overcome those challenges? You spoke about some of the adversities that you're facing or have faced.
Mhm.
What exactly do you do? Is it a mindset? How are you overcoming those things?
Uh,
Because it may be somebody that's on the live right now that's struggling with that exact thing. It may not even be in real estate, but it's like, okay, when adversities hit me, how do I bounce back? How do I overcome it? And you run all these businesses, I know you have come across a lot.
oh yeah. It says Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I see it, when you see that in the road, that stagger, that right there, and you know what I mean, it's sometimes just spelled out. They just tell you, like, yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
don't want
You.
you in our community, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes just spelled out to you. That actually makes me go harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I first got my real estate license, I vowed to not sell on the South Side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not because I'm from the South Side. I lived on the
Right.
South Side. Not because I had a problem with selling there, because I wanted to break some barriers, right? I
Yes.
was like, I'm not going to be the typical who accepts whatever they give me.
Exactly.
So I can remember, like, when I was really heavy in selling, I was in Streeterville, I was in Wicker Park, I was in Park
Okay.
Ridge, I was in Inverness, I was in Northbrook. I was up there, right? So I'm selling like $2 million homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got the whole block of Superior, the whole
Yeah.
block of Huron,
Yeah.
right? And all of these are $2 million homes, and I'm hustling these
Mm-hmm.
properties. And I can remember once being at a open house, and I'm looking at like these like other men that are in this open house, and I'm like, okay, why are they just kind of lingering around, right? And like they kind of waited till like the consumers left, and then like every business came and shot their shot with me, like, how did you get this listing? Hey, do you want to come join this brokerage? Do you want to come join this brokerage? Or, it was just like, okay, right? I think the biggest thing is I just got around the right people, and I wasn't afraid. Like,
And
I
you got
just
in the
wasn't.
right rooms. I
you
got you.
you you put yourself in the right rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you want success, sometimes it's literally, as they say, it requires discipline, and it requires you to look at what you're doing. Somebody just sent me a message today that says, when you're trying to take it to the next level, level up. Look at your social media. Look at who's around you. How could I level up with my friends who are on Section 8? Baby, you ain't even got to get up in the morning, right? I got to
Exactly.
get up and pay a mortgage in the morning. You
Alone.
don't have to get up in the morning. So my crowd changes. The
So that
people around me
exposure and
changes.
your relationships and all of that needs to level up as well.
Everything needs to level up when you're trying to level
Mm-hmm.
up. You have to definitely just look at things a lot different than where you've been. And I'm, like I said, I'm a girl from Inglewood, love my area, love where I'm
Mm-hmm.
from. But and then that comes with, then you got family and friends. It's like, oh, she's changing, you're changing.
Right.
I am, right?
Yeah.
Change is
That's
inevitable. It's
that's
gonna
a
happen.
good thing. It's not a
It's a
bad.
good thing that I'm changing, right? And if you
Mm-hmm.
can't respect my change, I don't know what else to do about it, but I ain't gonna worry about it,
Right.
right? Because
Well,
this is
we have
something that
somebody
has
in
to
the chat
happen.
that asked a question
Okay.
real quick. They said, "Do you ever feel guilty when you level up? Have you ever dealt with the guilt of that?"
Oh, that is a really good question. I did in the beginning. I did, because people start lying on you. People
Mm-hmm.
start doing a lot on you because you're kind of just moving a little bit different, right? And at first I was like, oh my God, why are they telling these stories? Why is this like,
Mm-hmm.
why is my
Mm-hmm.
name being drug in the
Right.
mud? And I remember wanting to bring myself back down to a level, to shrink,
Mm-hmm.
to satisfy those who weren't. But you know what? One day I literally, like, I got up in the middle, like I got up and it was like maybe 5 in the morning. And I took a ride through every neighborhood I had lived in growing up, right? And what I realized is, like, I'm from Inglewood. So I'm riding through these neighborhoods, and most of the houses were knocked down.
Mm.
So most of the blocks were like vacant with a lot of empty lots. And I said, I'm going to bring myself down to a level for somebody who,
Exactly.
come on,
Like,
come
nah.
on, this ain't it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was that wake up call that was like, that too shall pass. They don't like me today. Maybe they'll like me next year.
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll never see those people again in my
Mm-hmm.
life. But my levels went up and I stopped caring. Like right now, today, I'd be
That
like,
is so key.
yeah,
To not care
you
about what
don't
other
care.
people think. Your self-confidence is just on a new heights. You're going to have your haters. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing something right. It's okay.
Woo, learn that.
Okay.
I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way about
Mm-hmm.
me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a reflection in the mirror, and you literally have to say it like, oh, I'm so sorry, like you feel that way about me. I don't even feel any way about you because I'm not even thinking of you. So,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm glad that I'm on your mind. And that's all
Mm-hmm.
that means is that really somebody is admiring you, and that admire has turned into envy because they don't know how to
They
do
not
it.
doing it right.
And
Right.
instead of just asking me for help, you don't know how, so it just becomes envy. So that's
Right.
all hate is that you really admire me,
Exactly.
but you just don't know how to do what I do.
That, don't know how to
Because
do.
you're
Okay.
looking. Because I'm not looking at you. So you're
Mm-hmm.
there.
You
If you're
watching my
looking at
every
somebody,
move.
you really admire them. You don't hate them.
Exactly.
I'm not going to look at somebody I hate. I don't even want to see your face. So if you know what's going on with me, you definitely admire me.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm to be admired. It's okay.
Hello. You're doing it. And you're doing it fabulously.
Oh God.
So you
yes.
mentioned that you're from Inglewood and you didn't own, right, when you first started. You didn't come from a family of anyone who owned anything when it comes to the real estate space. So what would you say would be the significance in the Black community, especially of home ownership? And then, oh, sorry.
Ooh, okay, awesome. I would say, yeah, growing up and not owning, never seeing my parents own a house. We lived in apartments, lived with family, not seeing my parents themselves become homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me right now like just keep wanting to buy, build that generational wealth, buy our blocks
Yeah.
back because growing up we had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, life was it was fun. You didn't realize that you were poor because you just made things out of nothing, right? We
Tell
didn't
me about
realize,
it.
come on, we didn't realize we were poor, but also the respect in our communities. And now that the elders have died, I think it was a generational skip,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think like maybe my grandparents, which that it was the first opportunity for them to purchase homes from
Mm-hmm.
segregation.
Right.
They were eagerly ready to purchase homes. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it came down to their kids in Inglewood and they bought all these drugs in our neighborhoods and things
Yeah.
like that, it clogged their brain. So it skipped a
Mm-hmm.
generation. And then it jumped to like our age group where we're more so like, okay, we want to restore, we're bolder
Right.
in the way, right? And it didn't happen in all communities, but I definitely think that in our communities in Inglewood, in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
areas in Chicago, we can bring our values up. Home ownership is important. Taking definitely action into what you do, how you do it is very important. Changing your neighborhood, right?
Yes.
Learning that there are a lot of different resources out here where if you see a senior's home falling apart, like there's places that they can get windows, roofs,
Mm-hmm.
and things of that
All
nature.
type of
And DRG
programs
title,
and
yeah,
mm-hmm.
we adapted that as well because I feel like if you will let different companies come into our community, sell our houses instead of using a broker. They won't let us in their communities, but you
Hello.
guys will go take a different, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying we're not welcome in their communities,
Hello.
right? We can't go sell in their $2 million communities, but we're quick to call a named
Someone
company
else. Mm-hmm.
and then they're in our community selling,
Yeah.
which is totally fine. I'm diverse. I'm okay with that. But we also don't realize how we never let our dollar bounce in our community.
Yes.
We never do that. So
Recycling
my
that.
idea of title was this was a business that was not in our communities. I'm building out a 20,000 square foot building that everybody can come close at. State of the art closing rooms, all of that. We're building that out. I wanted it to be where you can close in your community. You're not forced to go downtown. You're not forced to go to the south suburbs. There's nothing in our immediate communities where we can go get our check, close on our deal, and keep on moving. And I felt that that was very important to bring that, to bring and bridge a gap in our communities. I felt that was very, very important to be able to have that. So definitely that's why I created the title company. That's why I'm working so hard to push those orders. So any brokers out here, drgtitle.com is where you place your orders. We are underwritten by Fidelity, Chicago Title, Doma. We're underwritten by the major title company, title underwriters. We are full service. We deal with investments. We deal with construction, escrow. We have remote closings. We do everything that you can go into Fidelity and do. We do everything that you can go into Chicago Title and do. No difference of fees, no difference of anything. It's just bringing your business. And a lot of people don't understand that, like, well, what's there is no difference, right? You got all these different competing title companies. It's enough business. I'm not asking for everybody's business, you know, but it's enough business for everybody. If I'm just getting this portion of it, but I definitely think like the building I'm opening is in Chatham. Chatham closed 600 deals of residential last year, and we didn't get one of those deals. That's the issue for me. It's an issue because it's our brokers, it's our neighborhoods, and we have to start fighting for what we need. You know, we got to start fighting in this real estate world of investments, developments, making government work with us, giving us more. We are the minority. We are behind. We're behind as a race. We're behind. We're the minority. And it's time to step up and force our cards here, because I'm fighting right now on Cook County. How are you guys taxing me at this rate and you're taxing Lincoln Park at a lower rate?
That's crazy.
You can't do it.
Make it make sense.
You got to make it make sense. So somebody has to answer to me, right? And that's the way that I demand my respect in this business. That's the way I demand my increase in this business is I keep making you explain to me why.
Exactly. And honestly, I really feel like with real estate, that is the quickest and best way for us to close that wealth gap, because everyone is in real estate, but most of us are renting instead of owning. So it's like, how do we switch and get on the other side of the cash register? How do we become the landlords and the homeowners who are now collecting the rent? So yeah, I definitely think real estate is essential.
What it is. Cierra, like you just said, how do we bridge that gap? If most now landlords, they want to qualify you too. Like if you're able to rent, you're able to purchase. It's just a couple of more stipulations you got.
And oftentimes when you're renting, you're actually paying more than the mortgage cost anyway.
Boom, boom. And if you're renting, just think about buying a duplex or a 2-unit or a 3-unit building and how you're then going to be living for free.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're saving money. It's the only way to get ahead. It's literally the only way to get ahead.
And real estate, your mortgage is your biggest deal.
Absolutely. Any rich billionaire, any rich millionaire will tell you that some of their wealth came from real estate. It had to, right? Because that's the biggest way to bridge a gap. It's the biggest way to make fast money. I don't care what market it is. It's in some kind of market. If I buy a property today and rates go up, I'm going to rent it out. I still got a rental market. Somebody still wants to rent and needs to rent. I just can't sell tomorrow, right? Exactly. I wait it out 6 months. Maybe I could take a refinance out on it or pull a HELOC on it to get some money out of it. It's always going to be a good investment to get into real estate.
And different exit strategies as well. So I'm glad you pointed that out. Can you share some of your success stories in real estate?
Ooh.
I know you got a lot. But maybe just one, maybe two success stories.
My success stories comes with just how I'm able to leverage. Like I would say in terms of in sales, like I've been at the closing table and given up my whole commission for a mother and her 3 kids to be able to have a safe house. That's success to me,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Right. That's success for me. Like, no, do I want to do it for everybody? Absolutely not, because I am in this to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's deceived by her lenders and things like that, I want her to be able to live in this house with her kids.
Wow.
My also success race is being that Black young girl from Inglewood and able to go to the closing table and pick up a check in the 6 figures, right? And that's my check. That's my money, because I purchased right. I invested correctly. I did what I needed to do. My biggest flex is for me is to be able to go to the bank and say, let me borrow $1 million to bid at these tax sales with. And they're like, okay, you got to give us $100,000 bond. And I'm like, boom, here's your $100,000 bond, right? So those are like my success stories, because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't
you
have.
come from humble beginnings. You come from
I come from
extremely humble beginnings.
In my whole career, I cannot tell you, like, literally no mentor I've had, not a one. I literally learned this by myself. I literally just read, understood, did everything that I needed to do to make it, right? Because we get into real estate and so many people are just busy and oh, I don't have time. So it was just me against me. Like, do you want this? You got to get out here. You got to hustle. And that's exactly what I did. And that's just like with you, Cierra, like, you're a hustler. You know, I see it in you're a hustler. You just get out there, you make it happen. Like, I love it. I love it. I love the hustle. I love to see women and men. I love to see us on top of our game. Thriving.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to keep on getting better with time. We're going to keep knocking doors down that they put up for us not to walk through, but we're not walking through them, we're knocking them down.
That part.
We
I love it.
Down.
Yes,
absolutely.
you knock them down. So I have some clients that reach out to me, and I'm just curious from you, again, the golden real estate, how do you keep up with the latest trends in the market and to better serve your clients? So people are always asking about what is the market doing. So how do you keep up with those latest trends, those developments?
You know what I tell my broker, Cierra? Pick up a book, read, subscribe to Crane's Chicago magazine, right? Subscribe to it, because they're always talking about the latest Chicago development. They're always talking about the latest market rates, what's happening. Look at Fannie Mae's guidelines, right? Guidelines update all the time, right? And then you can just go to their website. FHA guidelines update all the time. Like loan limits update every single year. The do's and the don'ts, right? Like they just put into place, like, in order to buy a 3-unit, the rent's got to speak for the mortgage, right? Where it used to be your income had to speak for the mortgage.
Now it's the self-sufficiency.
Have to be able to have a conversation with someone other than saying, I can show you houses. I'm a broker and I can show you houses. You have to be able to explain to them where rates were this many years ago, where you just saw 2%, but before the 2% were where we're currently at right now, right? So will rates go down? Maybe they won't go down to the 2% again, but election drives rates down. So rates will go down again. Don't be afraid at that point to refinance, right? Because if you can today afford it, they're not going to give you a house that you can't afford. If your debt to income ratio don't qualify, you're not going to get the house. So if you get the house, you can afford the house. And one day you'll be able to save on the house, and that's more in your equity. So in this market, you don't see values going down anymore. Values are not going to go down.
Continue to shoot up.
Yeah, they're not going to go down. And the best thing about it is, because values are not going to go down, what people don't understand is values drive up when rates go down. So you're always going to be leveraged. They don't understand that when you were just at a 2% interest rate, you were bidding $75,000 over market value. Hello,
50,
you were still
60,
at the same
$100,000 over. So it's
you
like,
were still at the same
but
leverage.
in their mind, they said, "Oh, I got a 2%, I got a 3%." It's like, but you had to bid $100,000
you had to bid
over to get it.
$100,000 over. So they don't realize that the leverage is still the same. Rates went up and we stabilized the market, right?
Absolutely.
That's
the
all
rates
it
went
is.
up. There's less competition. You're now getting the property for what it's worth. You now have more equity into that transaction. So
Absolutely. And that's what people have to understand. And you wouldn't know that if you don't read
Mm-hmm.
that, if you don't study trends, if you don't
Yep.
understand what's really happening in our marketplace, you would never know those things. So for me personally, I'm like, if I can tell anybody to do anything in real estate, have a conversation that somebody can understand, not just about, you know, I'm a real estate broker and I can show you a house. Let me
Right.
be able to tell you what's going on in the market.
Exactly.
You
And it's just
know,
educating yourself.
let me be able to tell you if you can afford, okay, it looks like maybe, you know, what you're looking for, you're going to need some extra income. So you need a 2-unit building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and you can live in one unit and you can rent out the other unit,
Yep.
and it can help you pay for your it's things like that that I want to be able to, you know, I always tell my brokers, be able to calculate before you even send them to a lender.
Yes.
Help them sit down and understand what that debt to income
Mm-hmm.
ratio means. What's your debts? How much money you make? Let's divide that little number into that big number,
Absolutely.
and let's tell you if you're over 55%, we're gonna have to figure some things out because it ain't gonna work, right?
Yeah.
It's those things that we definitely need to be able to communicate with our clients, but a lot of people are not able to have those conversations because they don't know. Their brokerages are not pouring into them, number one. Number two, they don't read. They don't even know about where to go read
Yeah.
it. Like I said, you can subscribe to Cranes for less than what I think it's like a couple of dollars a month, and read that magazine, and that magazine tells you so much about Chicago real estate, what's happening, what new developments are going up, who's relevant, who face you need to be in. It tells you all of that good stuff. So
And
that's
you know
what
what else, Tuwanna? I really think your experience outside of being just an agent, outside of being a managing broker, but being an investor yourself, that helps you tremendously as well. Because I'm not just telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know because I'm out here investing as well. So I definitely think that plays a big part in you being able to break it down to your clients. Because there's no shade, but I know so many realtors who don't own property.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to speak from that experience. And that's something I really think we should be working towards. I'm a big, like I preach this, like we're helping all these people get to the closing table. We need to, as real estate professionals, be getting there ourselves as well.
It has to. You can't relate to what you can't experience, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't experienced it, you can't relate until I feel the pressure of, oh God, this mortgage, oh God, you know. I think definitely it changes the trajectory of how you look at things, how you understand real estate. It does. I remember that I bought my first house at 30, but I remember selling, being in real estate, being in mortgages, and being able to talk about it. And then one day I was like, why don't I own my own home? You know, and it was literally like, okay, let me pull my credit. Oh, okay, let me talk to a lender. Oh, okay. You know, now I'm at the closing table, right? And I was never afraid. I think a lot of also in our community, we're afraid of the word foreclosure. I'm never afraid to start over. People will be like, oh, well, I don't know if it's safe to buy a house. It's safe to rent. I mean, you got to
paying the
live somewhere.
mortgage already.
You know, is it safe to? People say some things out their mouths, and I be like, oh, okay. Like, so it's not safe to buy a mortgage because you're scared that a foreclosure, or you're scared of this. Like, what's the typical amount of years after a foreclosure? That 3 years. I'm back in the game again, right?
It's really just fear, and I think education is the key. And you're doing that with your company. Can you speak about any maybe initiatives or programs that you may have? I know that you're really big into pouring back into our community, and you mentioned some of the classes that you have coming up. But maybe it's just some specific programs that your company is involved in with supporting the community.
We do have our what is called our 840 Impact. That's our non-for-profit. Our non-for-profit, what we do is when every title closing that we close, we take $50 of that title closing and we donate it to our non-for-profit.
Okay.
So we're able to give toy drives. We're able to give back to our community. We're able to go and we're looking into 2024 being able to go help seniors with gutters, with windows bills and things like that that they can't afford to do. So we're really huge on community as well. We are in a community. We do sponsor a lot. We do give a lot. We just did book bag drives. We just gave back school supplies. We do a turkey drive. We do Christmas drives. We do all of that in our community. Not only that, we also are, like I said, with the title company, that business, we are driven to help our community, our fellow real estate brokers to increase their business. We're big on tax liens. Like, we try to help. I'm a book full, right? A lot of people don't know about different funds that they have in Cook County, that if you're losing your property taxes and you had an illness or something like that, how to stay in your property, right? So it's a lot of things that, like, I want to teach the public. We are starting our classes. We're going to be in October, and we'll share it with you. So for your followers, they can look on the page. We're going to be having an event at the St. Clair in the end of October, and that will be for like the tax lien class.
I'm so
to show you
excited for that.
Yes, it will show you how to purchase tax liens. It will show you how to leverage your money, how to get in pools. We'll also probably have a Series 7s there for people who want to invest with. I can't tell you how to invest with your 401k, but we'll have someone licensed there who can tell you how to leverage. If you're in a company and you're just like, I'm tired of working for this company, I want to get out of this. I have money in my, retirement. How do I leverage myself? And that's going to be something big that's going to be there. We'll also talk about purchasing notes. We'll talk about so many investments. We'll talk about just everything that you can do to leverage hard money lenders. All of that stuff will be there. And we'll be giving mastery classes on people who want to learn how to flip, really flip, like, and earn your money.
And actually make some money.
Let me tell you, I am your $400,000 mistake, right? So I've already made all the mistakes that you can make. I paid the price. So what I'm going to be giving you guys is the expertise that you need to make it to that next level, because
successful at it.
Oh my gosh. Like, when I tell you, I have made every mistake, from contractors that you want to kill. Like, girl, I am telling contractors, like, you do know I'm from Inglewood, right? You do know Ray and them still over there, right? Like, you do know I'm about ready to take you out right now. So
those contractors,
I'm telling you,
they could literally make or break a deal. They
will. From them to the city of Chicago to the other municipalities.
Inspection process, be ready.
All of that, like, favor, okay? Learning who you need favor with, learning the processes, all of
and
those
building
good,
those relationships.
From Airbnb, we were, myself and my partner, we owned, we just sold them last year 4 mobile parks, not mobile homes, parks.
Wow.
The whole park.
See, I didn't even know that. I'm learning so much. Like, I already knew you was the GOAT, right? I knew. I already knew all of the businesses that you had and everything that you was doing, but I had no clue about that. I've learned so much in this interview.
Absolutely. So yeah, we just sold mobile parks last year. We just had, we sold $31 Generals. So we had a lot of business investments that we kind of just got rid of when the market was good, because we knew it probably wasn't going to come back for like the next 10 years. And then that way we were able to leverage with going into more states to buy and tax liens.
Nice. So while we're getting ready to wrap up, this has been absolutely great. I'm so happy that you agreed to do this interview. I really appreciate it. But before we go, let's go on a good note. For someone who's interested in the real estate industry, what advice would you give like an aspiring entrepreneur? Maybe just a gem or two to end this off for us.
Anybody who, even if it's not in real estate,
right? So
follow your heart, follow it. Make it plain. I'm going to show you something really fast. I don't know if you see my goal board back there, right? It's my 2024 goals. Make it plain. Write it down. Make it plain.
I like that.
and go after it, right? Because what happens is every day I come into my office, it hits me in my face. I cannot forget about that,
Right.
right? So it hits me in my face, and I'm like at a panic when I see I'm nowhere near my goals, right? And it's a daily reminder of, how do I tackle this? How do I get ahead of the game? What do I need to do? Any business, like I said, that you want to run, whether it's real estate, whether it's, I want to have a design store, I want to do hair, I want to do this, I want to do that, write out a goal, right? Because everybody has to have a goal.
Write it down.
You cannot tell me that you don't have a goal. You cannot tell me that you're not saying, I want to make this amount of money, right? Or I want to do this. It's not even, I want to open up, I want to buy my own house, I want to open up my own business, I want to do this. What business is that? You should already be doing research on that business. You should already be saying, okay, how much money do I need to start that business? How much money do I need to see to walk off my job? What consistency do I need to see that at to walk off my job, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want to say that if I make $10,000 this month, I'm walking off my job. What about next month? Like, so set your goals. I need 6 months of $10,000, and that'll let me know that I'm capable of doing this. And that way I can walk off my job at that moment, because now I have a skill set that it's not going to always be perfect, but I know how to do it. I know how to arrive back to where I started from to get it done again. So anything I can tell people is write it down, make it plain, and go after it. Because if you don't write it down, if you don't make it plain, it's always just going to be a dream.
That is a word, okay? I really look at your goal board is similar to my vision boards, because I do them every single year. And I keep it in my office as well. And I'm seeing it every single day. And even with like my health journey, that was on my vision board. And I said, oh, it's almost at the end of the year. I gotta get to it.
You have to. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Like what you just said, like for me, I'm like, oh boy, we're in fourth quarter. Like them goals looking like, I better go do.
So it makes you turn it up a little, up a notch.
It does. It really does.
And it accelerates that.
It does. It's a respect level that you learn, but like you just said, your health goals, people don't understand that health is wealth. Like I'm running for the Chicago Marathon right now, baby. It's nothing nice. It's a mind game. But if my body can do that, take me into 26 miles at one time, what can't my mind take me into in business, right? It's personal for me. This is mind over matter for me. It's personal. Do I want to wake up, enjoy, and run 26 miles? No, I do not. But is it something that I need to challenge myself to do? Yes, because that just takes me a step to know that I can accomplish anything that I want to do.
And I think we're going to end it right there. Like, that was perfect.
Awesome.
Tuwanna, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Building and Bonding. Again, it's a real estate series where we speak to real estate professionals that you need on your team. So for you all that are on here, I want you all to share this video. I want you to support Miss Tuwanna Dennis. I want you to support her businesses, DRG Title. If you're an agent and you're looking to join a brokerage, DRG, Dior Realty.
Or Realty Group.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cierra. Love you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.